This is Haley Bowery from the Manimals, and you are listening to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
Hello, everyone. Lou Lombardi here, a.k.a. Loudini, with the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus podcast. You can find us on the internet at LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. We have an interview today with the band, the Manimals, and they've got a new record out called Seven, and it's a concept album. So I haven't really talked to anybody who's got a concept album out right now. So this should be a lot of fun. I've got Haley on the phone. We're going to get with her in a second. First, let me thank my sponsor, Positively Pittsburgh Live magazine. That is pplmag.com, Pittsburgh's first internet radio, TV network, and online community magazine business directory. You can watch videos and download podcasts like this one that are created by the members of the community. There's a lot of great articles, and there's coupons there for all kind of deals. You can find businesses. You can even start your own magazine page if you've got something you want to say to the world, and get a podcast or video cast up like the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, and that is Positively Pittsburgh Live magazine, pplmag.com for short. Now, as promised, I've got Haley on the line here, Haley Bowery from the Manimals. The Manimals have been playing the New York City circuit since 2011. They're sort of marrying party rock with poetry to produce raucous anthems and inspire sing-alongs and dancing wherever they go. It sounds like a lot of fun. Singer Haley Bowery has been known to shower the audience with whiskey from a glittery super soaker and douse herself in fake blood. This definitely sounds like a party. Haley, welcome to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Where are you calling in from?
From Brooklyn, New York.
All right. No sleep till Brooklyn.
None at all.
None at all. Tell me. Let's talk a little bit about your journey. Tell me about how you got into music in the first place.
Well, I've always been musical in one way or another, probably. I think I started writing songs when I was 12 or 13 and playing guitar. And then I ended up going to college for musical theater, which is sort of a detour, but still musical. And and then I ended up not doing acting after that, but I got into performing again, my own music, which is almost maybe a reaction to doing theater school, like having to do someone else's material for a long time. And then I was like, I want to make my own. And so I started doing that, playing solo initially, like acoustic kind of stuff, but I always wanted to sort of bust out of that, because, that always ends up sounding folky, and I wanted to play rock music. And so I finally got a band together, and it's gone through several different iterations, and now we're back with, I think, like the perfect lineup, and we just made our second record.
So do you think that because you have guys have like cool videos that we're going to talk all about that and everything, but do you think that like maybe some of your music theater background has come into play now that you're fronting a rock band and you can kind of like perform as opposed to just sing and play?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm not like a accomplished guitarist. I do it to write.
Right.
But I always want to just like get out from behind an instrument and like run around and go crazy. And now I'm able to do that. So yeah, there's definitely a theatrical element to what we do. And makeup, costumes, crazy antics and whatnot. And I think like even the songs have a sort of glam theater kind of bent to them.
Tell me a little bit about some of the artists that inspired you.
Let's see. I mean, I really like 70s glam and punk, probably David Bowie and Blondie and New York Dolls, things like that, and then Patti Smith. And then the stuff that I grew up listening to on the radio in the 90s, like female-fronted alt-rock, like a lot of No Doubt, Alanis Morissette, and Veruca Salt, and things like that. I think those things combined sort of ended up fusing into what I'm doing now.
Okay, awesome. So your new record, you guys did a record in 2012, your debut, Born Strange, which is a great, I shouldn't swear. It's a great title. Sorry, we're talking punk and glam, so I'm like, getting into it. Born Strange, that's a great title. But your new record now this is kind of different, I think, for when you hear the kind of music you guys play, how edgy it is. It's their new record is a concept album, and concept albums are sort of usually associated with more, almost like more progressive rock kind of bands and stuff like that. But you guys did this you did this concept album called Seven. Now I'm going to go ahead and let you explain what Seven is all about and what the concept is. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. It's based on Game of Thrones and the books on which that's based, Song of Ice and Fire. It's told from 7 different perspectives. There's 7 songs, and each song represents a character from the story. And that's actually the way the books are written, point of view chapters, and so something that sort of inspired me in the writing to sort of get inside their heads. And I wanted to make a concept album. I love those, and I think that may also be my theater thing, talking to,
Okay.
I love some, Tommy and whatnot. But I guess we ended up wanting to make it sort of something that could work also out of context if you didn't know what the whole concept was, that the songs would sort of stand on their own. And while some have more literal references than others, they are all kind of imbued with my own feelings and something that I related to in the character, which I think comes across because it ends up being a pretty emotional record. So my first record has some of that. There's some love songs on the first record, but I think overall it's a little more, a little punky, power pop punk style, little edgy party rock sometimes. And this one, while we still have a few songs that are really wild and crazy and that sort of really fit into that, it also kind of goes to these deeper places too.
How do you now? This is the question that I want to ask you, because when you sit down to write something like this, see, the temptation I think is to become too literal.
Yeah.
And then now you've got, you're thinking about the characters and the different adventures that they have, and you're getting to how do you what do you pull out to say, and to make a song that's kind of like you said, it's not, they work independently as well, and you don't even have to know that this is based on Game of Thrones. How do you find that, and what is that? My thought process was that all of the characters, even though they have this fantastical setting, do have something really human about them, and that's probably why the story works so well. I think people sort of doubted that a fantasy show would even be this popular, but that's because the characters are really authentic, I think, and we really want to watch them and see what they do. So I tried to pick out something about each of them that spoke to me, and it had to be specific. I think that was sort of the trick, because I could have a song that was just really literally about dragons, and I think it would have come off as really lame. So I started thinking about Daenerys, the mother of dragons. I started thinking about her as what happens, and spoiler alert, there are dragons on the show, but she loses her baby, her human baby, and then sort of supernaturally gets these eggs to hatch, and they hatch dragons, and she becomes a mother to them instead. So I was sort of trying to relate that to myself, in that, we sort of go down a path in life, and, I'm at a certain age where, you think, am I going to have a family and things like that. And then, but you also have this sort of extra human
capability, which for me is writing songs. For her, it's raising dragons. But I decided that there are other ways to be creative, and but those creative forces can also be destructive, and that was what I focused on in that song. That's the song Mother that opens the record. And, I picked out phrases from the books and some imagery that I thought was interesting, but it still comes off, I think, as the feeling that I'm going for that could work for either the story or for me or for other people.
Cool. Before we go on much further, let's give everybody a taste.
Yeah. And
we're going to play the single. The song is called Talk, and this is off of the Manimals' latest album, 7. And this is called Talk, and you're going to check this out. We're going to play it right now on the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, Talk by the Manimals.
In this light, I could be anyone, the hero that you wanted all along. A giant shadow looming on the wall, I'm smaller now than I ever was. Oh, my kindness is a lie. Wicked tongue and wicked eyes. She was shy, I was just a boy. I wonder where a girl like that would go. The hollow ring of silver on the floor. I bought your company, but not your love. Now here we are, my mercenary friends. We can drink and talk and play pretend. All the words that hurt you, wear them now like armor. They will never harm or burden you again. I won't fight like a lion on the rock, but damn it if I don't give good talk. A cliche of a broken thing, ruin filling up on wine and skin. Leave this city, go across the sea. Forget the ashes of my family. We are all still puppets on that string. Truth and ever very bitter thing. All the words that hurt you, wear them now like armor. They will never harm or burden you again. I won't fight like a lion of the rock, but damn it if I don't give good talk. Talk, talk, talk,
All right. Now, tell us a little bit about the song. Talk? Because you talked a little bit about the song Mother, so we just played the song Talk. So let's tell me a little bit about that song.
Yeah, so Talk is about Tyrion Lannister, played excellently on TV by Peter Dinklage. And I think that this song runs a whole bunch of different emotions. He's probably the smartest character in the story and the most verbose and the wittiest. And so when I sat down to write it, I was sort of intimidated, like, he's so clever. How do I write in his voice? And then I just sort of thought it was funny if, his gift is like gift of gab, kind of, and if the whole chorus was just the word talk. And it's reductive, but it's purposefully reductive because the moment I was writing about was where he's at a pretty low point. He's really depressed, and a lot of things have gone incredibly south for him. But he's always Tyrion. His brain's always on, so he's never too depressed to be self-deprecating or funny. And so that's what I was going for. And there's like rage in there, there's depression in there, but it's also sort of bittersweet. Yeah, that's what we were going for.
Now you guys shot a very cool video for Talk. And now I want to let everybody know right now the video has no dragons in the video.
No.
Or anything like that. So tell us a little bit about the video.
We decided we're hopefully going to shoot even more videos like this, but the idea was to pick sort of one little aspect that reminded us of the character, something really basic, and create a little film about it in our own world in New York City. So Tyrion loves to drink, so we set it in a bar, and we picked our favorite filthy rock and roll dive, Clockwork, on the Lower East Side, and the entire place is just covered in graffiti. It's pretty foul and great. And we
foul and great.
Yeah, it's both of those things. They, as you'll see in the video, they pour their whiskey shots into like little plastic Dixie cups. So we decided it would just be sort of an idea of a bunch of sort of outsiders or loners, which is sort of what Tyrion is. He's an outsider, coming together for one night of debauchery and wild fun. And so I told the band, we should all, dress, the way you like to dress on stage, and they came with, their own costumes, and our drummer, Matt, came with a skunk costume, just sort of randomly, and we thought that's really perfect, and you should just wear the skunk costume, and that ended up forming what the video became, is that we all sort of see this skunk dude, and he's sort of the Pied Piper that leads us to have this party together.
Oh, cool.
And yeah,
it's a really cool video. You guys want to go and definitely check out the song. Tell me a little bit. You said that you were talking a little before we started talking too much about the record. We're talking a little bit about shows and stuff like that. Give us a little more on the live experience of the Manimals. And are you guys touring or just playing around New York City? And tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. Well, right now we are playing around New York City. Tonight we're playing at a sex party at midnight. So that's
nice.
Kind of an interesting adventure that we're about to go on. But we usually play regular venues. And ideally we would love to do some playing out of town. I guess we'll see what this summer holds and this fall. But live, I think a lot of who we are comes from how we play live. I really feel like when you go to a show, it should be an experience. And, you see a lot of bands who stand there and sing. And, if it's beautiful music, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I really, when I go to a show, I like to be transported, and I like to see, like, front people who are insane. I like, seeing the glitz and the glitter and the excitement. And I want, sweat and beer flying. That's what I want from a show, personally. So that's sort of what I'm trying to create in our live show. And so we do have, like, sort of theatrical moments sometimes. You mentioned the glittery Super Soaker, which hasn't come out in a little while because people sometimes get blinded by whiskey and then they get mad at me. But so if someone is aiming a Super Soaker full of whiskey at you, you should close your eyes and open your mouth. But,
wait a minute, guys, this is important information. Yeah, public service announcement. You got Super Soaker full of whiskey. Close eyes, open mouth.
Yeah, that's all there is to it. Yeah, and so that, but we also do, even when we don't have the whiskey Super Soaker, sometimes we'll hand out shots to the audience. I do a lot of running around and climbing on the drum kit and going crazy, and we do have some fake blood and other wacky elements. Yeah, we want people to leave feeling like they experienced something that was beyond what they could have gotten listening to a record on their computer.
Yeah, absolutely.
People don't go out as much anymore, and I think because you can get any music you want online, and there has to be like a reason for going out now, and we want to give you the reason.
The reason is the Manimals.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and tell the kids at home how they can keep track of where you guys are and all your happenings?
Yeah, well, we have a website, manimals.band, and we also have our Bandcamp, which is manimals.nyc.bandcamp.com. That has the new record, it has the old record. You can buy it there, you can stream it there. And we're also on Facebook. There are other Manimals out there, but I think we're called the Manimals Band. Facebook. Yeah, Facebook / the Manimals Band. So, yeah, that's where you can find us. And I'm on Twitter as Haley Bowery.
Okay, very cool. Haley, can you hang out for a second and do a little couple bonus questions with us?
Absolutely.
All right. Hey, everyone, you've been listening to Haley Bowery from the band The Manimals. And like we said, that website is manimals.band. And that's really the sort of hub there where you can branch out to all the social media and stuff. There's some great photos and links and everything there where you can do everything you want to do. You can buy the new album, 7, which will just kick you right in your freaking butt. It's a great rock and roll record. And you definitely want to go to the website because you want to make sure you know where they're playing live, because this band, you've got to see them live. It's all about that live show that is just absolutely transformative. You are listening to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. That is LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. If you like this kind of music, you believe in it, you believe that more people need to know about it, please help us out at supportindierock.com. The page where you can go to and you can find out about how you can get involved in supporting great independent bands like the Manimals. One more shout out to my sponsor, Positively Pittsburgh Live Magazine. That is pplmag.com. They've been supporting the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus for a couple of years now. We really appreciate that. You are listening to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. One more time, the website is LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. Guys, thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you on the next podcast.